morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Time for some yoga. Yay! My name is Roxanne, and I'm so honored to be able to lead you through this practice today, or any day, since this is online. It's accessible at any time, which is quite a treat. So I'm going to invite you to just find a comfortable form, perhaps seated. And if you are seated, you may wish to be propped up on a cushion, a bolster, a block, or a folded blanket. Sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of height under the sits bones. Just allows that natural tilt in the pelvis to remain there, especially if you kind of scoot yourself to the front edge of that support that you may be using. And sometimes that extra height also allows the knees to be lower than the hips. Perhaps crossing the legs or finding any positioning for the legs that feels comfortable for you. And now just perhaps beginning to close the eyes or keep a soft gaze. Just feel yourself arriving. Stilling the body. Perhaps the mind begins to slow down just a little bit. And perhaps just notice how it feels to be back on your mat. Without judgment or preferences, just notice how it feels today, right now. Perhaps noticing the sits bones grounding down towards the earth. Perhaps feeling a sense of heaviness or sinking, as you also feel lightness and lifting up through the crown of the head, that polarity. Maybe beginning to notice the lengthening in the spine as the body begins to softly open in its own time. And just like last week, this week I pulled some cards for us from the deck called Art of Attention. And often in my classes, when we are with one another in person, I offer the cards to the yogis in the class. But since that's not available today, I thought I would just pull 3 and share them to the group. They can be our group cards. So the first one I pulled this morning is transformation. Through all transformation, your spirit is love. The second card says freedom. In order to move forward, free yourself from blame. And the final card that I pulled says awaken. Awaken to another possibility. thought today we could have as our theme an attitude of gratitude. When we begin to just be aware of the things in our lives that we can be grateful for, it can sometimes seem overwhelming because there are so many things. Even when times are challenging, difficult, we still have so many things in our lives to be grateful for. So perhaps just allowing that to resonate for you. Notice how it may feel within you to bring that awareness of gratitude into your thoughts, into your being. And this morning I wanted to share from you a passage by Richard Wagamis from his book called Embers that speaks to gratitude. It has been proven in my life that when your prayers are about gratitude for what is already here, Creator and the universe always send more. Always. When you pray for what you want, Creator and the universe only hear the wanting. And that's what you create. More wanting. Be thankful. Offer prayers of gratitude for the blessings already in your life, whether health, prosperity, or productivity, and more blessings will come. And now gently lifting the hands away from the legs or wherever they may have been resting, and bringing the palms together at heart center, thumbs resting on the sternum. And let's take a cleansing breath together. Inhale a little more deeply, filling the lungs a little more fully. Let it go with a sigh. And now we'll inhale to chant Om. Perhaps dedicating your practice this morning to someone or something who may truly benefit from your love, kindness, empathy, loving energy. And then gently releasing the hands. And let's begin by moving our heads very slowly. So we're going to start by imagining that we have a paintbrush attached to the tops of our heads. And you're going to just begin with the tip of the paintbrush to draw little tiny circles on the ceiling. So the movement is small to begin with. And then perhaps over time, you may begin to notice that you may wish to make the circles a little bigger Maybe even beginning to feel the shape of a spiral occurring on the ceiling with this imaginary paintbrush. Moving slowly. And then now beginning to circle slowly in the other direction, starting with small circles first. And this movement is just coming from the head, even though I started to notice my torso wanting to get involved. Just seeing if you can allow just the head to be moving through this motion. And now perhaps beginning to paint this imaginary spiral, slowly getting a little bigger and bigger on the ceiling. And then when you feel complete, bringing the head back to center. And now imagining this paintbrush is now located on the tip of your nose, and you're going to start drawing little circles or painting little circles on the wall in front of you. So again, starting with small shapes, and then perhaps over time, circles getting a little bigger, perhaps creating this beautiful spiral on the wall. And then when you feel ready to change direction, begin to do so. And again, initially starting with small circles and then making them a little bigger and a little bigger. Finding yourself coming back to center, softly dropping the chin towards the chest, beginning to feel a beautiful opening in the back of the neck. Maybe the hands rest on the sides of the head, perhaps guiding the chin just a little closer to the chest. Breathing into that opening, you may be sensing, perhaps feeling yourself breathe into the space that's being created and is available to you in the back of the neck. And then softly releasing the hands if they were on your head, slowly bringing the head back to center. And now gently beginning to lift the chin towards the sky without letting the head fall back and crunching into the back of the neck. Perhaps feeling the sternum beginning to lift up towards the sky. The gaze may come upwards as well, but not collapsing back. Maybe opening and closing the mouth here. Feeling into that beautiful opening in the front of the neck. Opening into our throat chakra so that we may speak our truth. And then gently bring the head back to center, releasing the left ear over the left shoulder. You may wish to bring the left hand to the right side of the head. But if that's too intense, then take the hand away. It doesn't need to be there. On your next inhalation, bringing yourself back to center, and as you exhale, right ear floating towards the right shoulder. Perhaps the right hand resting on the left side of the head. and then slowly coming back to center. Let's roll the shoulders in one direction. Feel yourself really accentuating the movement so the shoulders come forward, up, back, and down. Breath, movement in harmony. And then circling in the other direction. Beautiful. And now taking that right arm, bringing it in front of the chest, the left elbow gently holding on to that right arm. And perhaps bringing the gaze towards the right shoulder. If your head is turned to the side, bring it back to center. Slowly release the arms. And now bringing the left arm across the chest. Right elbow holds on to that left arm. Feeling that beautiful sensation in the arm and the shoulder, and then perhaps beginning to bring the gaze over the left shoulder. And head comes back to center, releasing the arms, letting them come down alongside the body, and as you inhale, slowly begin to lift the arms up. And as you exhale, palms turn towards the earth as we softly release down. I'll do that 2 more times. Inhale the arms up. And this time as you exhale, circle the wrists as the arms come back down towards the earth. And on your next inhalation, arms come up. And as you exhale, circling the wrists in the other direction. Now we'll inhale the arms up 1 more time. And now releasing the arms into cactus arms. As you inhale, taking your arms back towards the wall behind you, feeling that opening in the heart and the chest, the collarbones, shoulder blades are coming together. And as we exhale, bringing the forearms together, chin dropping towards the chest, and the spine is gently curving out towards the wall behind you. On your next inhalation, opening up. And as you exhale, releasing. Similar to cat and cow, except in a seated form. Moving through a few more of these, letting your breath be your guide. Letting go as you exhale with sighs or sounds at any time, which are beautiful reminders for our bodies to release some of that stress and tension that we may be holding on to. 1 more full cycle. And when you are complete, coming back to center and releasing the hands onto the thighs. Moving into a gentle spinal twist, taking the right hand to the left knee, left hand comes behind you. As you inhale, press down through the sits bones, extend up through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, maybe twisting just a teeny bit deeper. This is beautiful to also massage our internal organs, as well as keeping our spines flexible, healthy, nourished. 1 more breath cycle. And then slowly finding your way back to center. And as you're ready, on your next exhalation, left hand comes to the right knee, right hand comes behind you, coming into that twist in the opposite direction. The gaze may come straight ahead, or it might feel comfortable for you to bring the gaze over the right shoulder. One more breath. And then softly releasing, finding yourself back in center. Releasing the left hand to the earth as the right hand reaches up to the sky. Stretch the fingers as wide as you can get them. Heart and gaze opening to the sky. And as you exhale, you may be called to release that right arm alongside the right ear, coming into a C curve. Just ensuring that you're not collapsing into your left side, feeling that gentle lift as if you're coming up and over top of a ball, a beach ball or a basketball. And you may be called here to bring little movements into the head, the neck, the shoulder, or maybe stillness feels perfect here for you. And on your next inhalation, floating your arms back up through center. And as you exhale, releasing the right hand to the earth, as the left fingertips reach up to the sky. Spread the fingers as wide as you can get them. Heart and gaze opening to the sky. And as you exhale, if you wish, releasing that arm alongside the left ear. And again, maybe little micro movements may feel good here. Or perhaps your body wishes to be still. And as you feel complete, coming back through center, both arms lift up. Interlace the fingers, stretch the palms towards the sky. As you exhale, hands release behind the back. Interlace the fingers or clasp the hands and stretch the hands towards the earth. Feel that beautiful opening in the heart, the sternum, the collarbones. The gaze may even naturally begin to lift upwards. And then releasing the hands and coming down onto your mat. So you may wish to release the legs into a nice wide V shape. Slide back a little bit. There we go. And you can still be on a folded blanket, or if it feels better for you to stay up on some kind of support, that's perfectly fine. And then as you find your way into this wide-legged form, you might want to shake the legs a little bit. Just get that circulation moving with a little more ease in our legs. And we'll move through a few bowing breaths. So bringing the hands to the tops of the thighs. As you inhale, lifting the heart towards the sky, finding yourself in a very gentle back bend. And as you exhale, folding from the hip creases, hands are softly moving down the legs, extending out through the crown of the head. Spine is lengthening, extending, and just coming to that first point of sensation, your edge, where your body is telling you that you're there, it's being felt. And on your next inhalation, again, still with a straight spine, begin to lift yourself back up, hands washing up the legs, coming to the tops of the thighs, and finding your way back into that gentle back bend. As you exhale, folding forward. As you're prompted to inhale, lifting back up. Moving slowly, following your own breath. Perhaps noticing or feeling that natural pause that may be occurring at the top of your inhalation and at the base of the exhalation. Just allow yourself to linger in that pause. That pause is a place of stillness, tranquility, and peace. What a beautiful place to linger. Moving through 2 more cycles. Maybe closing the eyes or keeping a soft gaze. Allow your attention to turn inward. Really tuning in to your body. Gratitude for these beautiful vessels that carry us on this amazing earth. And when you're complete, resting in that forward fold and taking the hands in front of you onto your mat. Continue to extend out through the crown of the head. Continue to feel that lengthening in the spine. Maybe over time, as the body may begin to open into this form, you may find that you might be able to walk the fingers just a tiny bit further forward. But again, it's not necessary. It just may naturally, organically be happening. And now coming up onto our fingertips and gently walking our hands over to the right hand side, resting hands on either side of your right foot and coming into a gentle forward fold over your right leg. Perhaps feeling a micro bend in the knees. And if you have sensitivity in the knees, it can also feel nice to slide a folded towel or a blanket or something underneath the knees for support, or maybe a cushion. And then coming back up onto our fingertips, walking ourselves back through center, taking 1 full breath here in center. And then continuing over to the left-hand side, framing our left foot with our hands and moving into our gentle extension over that left leg. Let's enjoy 1 more breath here. Perhaps breathing just a little more deeply, a little more slowly. And then as you're ready, finding your way back to center. 1 more deep breath here, maybe walking the fingers out just a little more, feeling that opening in the sides of your body. And then gently walking the fingers back towards yourself, lifting the spine. Let's bring the soles of the feet onto the earth, to the edges of our yoga mat. Knees are bent, hands come behind you for support. You may wish to have the fingers facing towards you or away from you as we begin to windshield wiper our knees from side to side. We're going to be serenaded with Pugsley's squeaky toy now. So funny because most of the time he does not play with his toys, but I think there's just a special energy that arises when I am practicing yoga at home. And you may wish to bring your gaze in the opposite direction from the way the knees are falling. Beautiful. And then coming back to center, and let's find our way into tabletop position onto our hands and our knees. Checking that the wrists are under the shoulders, knees are under the hips, fingers are spread nice and wide. And we'll begin with some circular cat-cow. So beginning to rotate the torso around. Sometimes I liken this to a cement mixing truck when that barrel of the truck is starting to circle around, mixing everything up inside. Sometimes people use imagery here of taking your finger and wiping it around the inside of a honey pot or a peanut butter jar, trying to get every little last bit of yumminess out of it. And then circling in the other direction. And then finding a place back in center, hands moving just a few inches out in front of you as we begin to move through some hip circles. Circling in one direction, and then the other direction. And coming back to center, placing those wrists back under the shoulders, coming into tabletop, and moving through a few rounds of cow and cat. As you inhale, belly dropping towards the earth, sits bones and gaze coming up towards the sky. As you exhale, starting at the base of the spine, lifting that spine up towards the sky in a rainbow shape, or sometimes much like a frightened cat. Looks like this as well. And just moving through these two forms, following your breath cycle. Again, maybe closing those eyes, tuning out the outside world through that visual perception and focusing inward. Let's move through two more cycles. And then when you're complete, coming back to tabletop, and let's press ourselves back into a child's pose. Big toes are touching. Knees can be wide or perhaps parallel. Allowing that forehead to softly move towards the floor. Arms extended out overhead. Feeling that beautiful lengthening in the spine. Creating opening in the sides of the body. And you may even wish to softly rock the head from side to side, massaging the third eye center. And if you have been rocking the head, bringing it back to center, and gently finding your way back to tabletop. And pressing ourselves into our first down dog of this practice. Tuck the toes under and beginning to lift the hip bones up towards the sky. Bend the knees as much as you'd like as we're just warming up our bodies. The heart is melting towards the thighs. The eyes of the elbows facing one another. Perhaps walking the dog, pedaling one foot and then the other. Maybe gently rocking the head from side to side, just bringing some loosening of the muscles of the neck into our bodies. You may wish to lift up one leg and then the other leg. So just be curious, a little playful here, and just explore how your body would like to open. You're always welcome to come down into a resting form. So back to tabletop or back to a child's pose at any time throughout the practice. And if something is not feeling right for your body this morning, allow yourself to back out. Maybe modify the form. Or if that form just is not working for you today, feel free to come into any other shape that your body wishes for. And maybe bringing one foot behind the other with baby toes touching or near one another. And if you did that on one side, balancing out by doing it on the other side as well. And then finding our way back to center. From here you can step or hop the feet up towards the hands, coming into a forward fold, bending the knees as much as you'd like, the belly resting on the thighs, the torso just cascading towards the earth. And maybe over time the legs may begin to straighten, but always keeping a micro bend in the knees. Perhaps feeling some engagement in your core. Sometimes the image might be of just softly guiding the belly towards, or the navel, sorry, towards the spine. And that may just bring that sense of more support to your lower back, and it may wish to release just a little bit more. The head is hanging heavy. The neck is soft. You might even wish to gently rock the head from side to side, slowly up and down, just to make sure that the muscles in the neck are soft and releasing. And on your next inhalation, we'll begin to press into our feet as we slowly unfurl the spine, beginning to lift ourselves up slowly to standing. Chin stays tucked in towards the chest. And once the spine is straight, the head comes into position. You may wish to inhale the arms up, bringing the hands together overhead, releasing down through heart center. Perhaps just stopping here, breathing in that attitude of gratitude. And then gently releasing the hands alongside the body, finding our way into mountain pose, Tadasana. You may wish to roll the shoulders back, opening the palms to represent the open heart. Tips of the ears lifting to the sky, chin parallel to the earth. And the soles of the feet grounding down into the earth. Feeling rooted, balanced, supported. Just take a moment here, standing Shavasana. Feel into whatever sensations you may be experiencing without labels or judgment or preference, just witness. Perhaps guiding some of that prana, the energy that you may be sensing in the body, towards that third eye center, point between the eyebrows, 2 to 3 inches back into the skull, where the nervous systems meet, the seat of intuition, integration. And then softly flutter the eyes open, maybe give the body just a gentle little shake if that feels good for you. And today we're going to move through some moon salutations. I was actually planning to do this last week, but shocker, I ran out of time. So today, I wanted to make sure that we did have time to do that. You may wish to turn your mat So that instead of going straight up and down facing me, you may wish to have your mat going sideways. And coming to the center. And as you're ready, let's inhale the arms up. Coming into temple. So interlace the fingers, but keep the index fingers reaching up towards the sky. The arms are alongside the ears. Feel yourself pressing down through the feet as you extend up through the crown of the head. As you inhale, coming to a very gentle back bend, just ensuring that you're not collapsing into the lower back. Again, just imagining that ball is now on your lower back and you're just lifting up and over it. Gaze coming up towards the sky. And then softly coming back to center. Beginning to exhale and fold over towards the left. Inhale through center. Exhale, folding over to the right. Inhaling back through center. Lifting the left leg away from the earth as you release the arms, stepping the feet out so that they're at a 45-degree angle. Arms preparing to come down into cactus arms as we bend the knees, coming into goddess, and exhale. And then lifting up to 5-pointed stars. So now the toes are facing forward, extending out through the fingertips. And breathe. Preparing for triangle. So turning the left toes toward the short edge of your mat, by the left wall. You're going to softly just reach out towards the left as the right hip reaches out to the right. And then gently beginning to release the back of your left hand either to your thigh or to your calf, wherever it feels natural for you. If you find that the stance is not quite long enough for you, feel free to adjust. And sometimes in this form, people like to have the right toes actually turning in at about a 45-degree angle. So as you find your way into triangle, just feeling the gaze and the heart opening towards the sky, extending out through the right fingertips, extending down through those left fingertips. One more breath, but knowing you can come out at any time. From here, we're going to move into a straight-legged runner stretch. So gently beginning to bring your hands and frame them over or next to the left foot, pivoting up onto your right toes so that now your left toes and right toes are all facing the same direction. Stepping that right foot in slightly so that the right foot can be flat on the earth. You can be up on your fingertips, maybe the palms of your hands, or if this is not available to you, you're welcome to have books or blocks or some kind of props to release your hands onto. Feeling that extension, the lengthening of the torso, of the spine, out through the crown of the head. And on your next exhalation, keeping that spine lengthening, perhaps beginning to fold the heart towards the thigh. One more breath. From here, we're transitioning into a lunge. So beginning to bend into your left knee, checking that the left knee is over top of the left ankle. You may wish to step back with the right foot and come up onto your right toes. This may be perfect for your lunge today. Options here might be to release the right knee to the earth if you'd like. You may wish to bring the hands to the thigh. Or perhaps this morning you're called to lift the arms up alongside the ear. So lots of variations, lots of options. Come to the one that serves your body right now. Wherever you are at, releasing the hands back to the earth. If you've released your right knee, coming back up onto your right toes, lifting that right knee away from the earth. And we're going to begin to walk our hands towards center as we begin to pivot our toes towards the long edge of our mat, bending into that left knee. The hands may be in center or maybe a little closer to the left foot, whatever feels best for you. Right leg is straight. And again, spine is lengthening. From here, we're going to transition into a squat. So you may wish to walk your feet a little closer together, toes pointing out at a 45-degree angle, beginning to drop the sits bones to the earth, towards the earth. Today, your squat may be here. Maybe it's a little higher up. Again, just honor where your body is, what feels comfortable for you this morning. And another option here, which is quite lovely, is a supported version where you can slide blocks beneath the sits bones and actually release down onto a support. And that just takes some of that stress off of the knees. You're welcome to keep the hands on the earth or maybe bringing them together at heart center. And if your elbows are pressing into your inner thighs, maybe gently pressing back into the elbows with your thighs as well. And then gently releasing the hands, bending into the right knee as the left leg extends. Coming into our side stretch. And now beginning to walk the hands over to the right hand side, all toes pointing in the same direction. Coming into our lunge. So the right knee is now over the right ankle. You can have the left leg lifted off the earth with the left toes pressing into the earth. Or it may be more available to you to have that left knee resting on the earth. Option to keep the hands either on supports or on the earth, or bringing the hands to your thigh, or lifting them up alongside the ears. And then wherever you happen to be, finding the hands back on the earth, pressing back into your left toes and making sure that the left leg is off of the earth. From here, transitioning into straight-legged runner stretch. So bringing that left foot perhaps a little closer so that the entire foot can rest on the earth. Both legs are straight, but of course you're welcome to have micro bends in the knee. You may wish to have your hands on supports or resting on fingertips on the earth. And again, extending that spine nice and long as you begin to invite the heart to melt towards the thigh. And just wait till the body gives you that invitation. Now preparing our legs to come into triangles. So you are going to want to take the left foot and pivot it so that the right heel would intersect with the left arch. You may wish to have the left toes in at a 45-degree angle, and then gently begin to bring your right hand to the inside of your right thigh as you begin to slowly open into triangle on this side. Feeling the gaze and the heart reaching up towards the sky. Left fingertips stretching up towards the sky. And on your next inhalation, gently lifting yourself out and coming into 5-pointed star. All toes facing forward. And then preparing for goddess. So taking the feet so they're at a 45-degree angle. Getting ready to come into cactus arms, and as you exhale, coming into your goddess. Inhaling yourself back up, bringing the hands together overhead into temple, turning the feet so they're facing forward, stepping that left foot alongside the right, coming back around the center of the mat. And as you exhale, folding over to the right. Inhale through center, feel that beautiful extension up through those index fingers, and then as you exhale, folding over to the right. Coming back through center, gentle back bend. Back through center, release the hands, and as you exhale, slowly making the shape of a full moon with your arms. Tadasana, mountain pose. Close the eyes or keep a soft gaze. And just allow yourself to feel. Inhale, gratitude, self-love. Exhale, peace. And softly flutter the eyes open. We'll move through some breaths of joy. As we inhale, we bring the arms up to shoulder height. Inhale again, arms come out to the side. Inhale a third time, lift all the way up. And then as we exhale, we let it go and just also release sound. So as you're ready, inhale, 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 let it go. Front, side, up, release. Two more. And letting yourself stay in a forward fold, release, and let it all go. And slowly bringing yourself back to standing. And we'll move through one more round. And this time when we come to the grand finale, we'll come back to a standing form. So as you're ready, joining in. 2 more. Come right up to standing. Close the eyes or keep a soft gaze. And just feel. Witness and observe. Accept what is. Beautiful. And then flutter the eyes open. And we'll do our second round of sun salutation, or the second half. And we'll just move through it a little bit more quickly than the first time. So as you're ready, finding yourself back in the center of your mat. Inhale the arms up, coming into temple. Gentle back bend. Come back to center. Fold over to the right. Inhale through center, folding to the left. Back to center, preparing to step the right foot out to the side, coming into goddess. 5-pointed star. Turning the right foot so the toes are pointing to the top short edge of your mat. Preparing for triangle. Your back foot might be at a 45-degree angle. Extending out through the right fingertips. Extending out through the left hip. And as you're ready, gently releasing into your triangle. Remember, heart, gaze open to the sky. One more breath. Transitioning into straight-legged runner stretch. Framing that right foot, pivoting on the left toes. Maybe stepping the left foot up a little bit. Both legs are straight, micro bends in the knee. Hands can be on supports if you'd like the earth to come a little closer to you. Feeling that lengthening in the spine, and the heart perhaps melting a little closer to the thigh. Moving into our lunge, bending the right knee, stepping the left foot back, coming up onto your toes. Option to release down onto your left knee. Hands can stay on the earth or rest on the thigh, or maybe lift up towards the sky. And then releasing back down, coming back into our lunge with our left knee lifted off the earth. Now beginning to walk the hands over to the center as our toes all face the long edge of our mat, keeping that bend in the right knee, nice length in the left leg, nice side stretch here. Hands coming to center, maybe walking the feet a little closer together. Perhaps the feet are at a 45-degree angle as we come into our squat. Remember all the variations, modifications that are all available to you. If your hands are lifted, releasing them back to the earth, bending the left knee as we extend the right leg out long. Again, it might Feel better if you widen the stance a little bit here. And now walking the hands so that they frame the left foot, preparing for our lunge. Option to release the right knee. Option to release the hands to the thigh or lift them up alongside the ears. And finding your hands back towards the earth, stepping that right foot in a little closer, moving into our straight-legged runner stretch. Preparing for triangles. So the right foot turns in order that the left heel would intersect with the arch of the right foot. Slowly beginning to lift yourself up. The left hand, back of the left hand is resting on the calf. And the right arm, you are welcome to slowly begin to lift it up towards the sky. Feeling the heart and the gaze beginning to turn towards the sky. If it's not comfortable to have the right hand extended, feel free to release it onto your lower back. And on your next inhalation, lifting your right arm back to the sky if it was resting on your lower back, and gently lift up through the fingertips and coming back to five-pointed star. And into our final goddess. Lifting up. Coming back to temple with the hands, bringing the right foot in towards the left. Now leaning over to the left as you exhale. Inhale through center, reach up through those index fingers. And as you exhale, floating over to the right. Find your way back to center, gentle back bend. And center, release the hands. And as you exhale, slowly making the shape of a full moon. And come back to your mountain pose, Tadasana. Roll the shoulders back, open the palms, maybe close the eyes. Breathing in that beautiful attitude of gratitude. Feeling it in every cell of your being. And as you are ready, gently flutter the eyes open and find your way down in any manner onto your mat, initially seated. And bringing the soles of the feet to the earth, knees are bent, and we're going to release ourselves slowly down onto our mats. So you can bring the arms just out in front of you and very slowly beginning to come down. One vertebra at a time. And once you have found the earth, extend the arms out overhead, extend the legs nice and long, and feel yourself stretching and yawning maybe. And just extend out through the fingertips, extend out through the toes. Make your body as long as you can get it. And then relax. I'll do that one more time. Inhale and stretch, stretch, stretch out through the toes, stretch out through the fingers, maybe even scrunch up your face just for fun. And release. Let's bring our knees in towards our chest and softly rock from side to side, massaging the back, the kidneys, adrenal glands. And then coming back to center, extending the arms out nice and long. Let's release the left foot onto the earth and cross the right knee over top of the left. You might want to walk that left foot just a little bit over towards the right, maybe just a couple of inches. And then as you're ready, beginning to release the knees over to the left-hand side. Gaze might be coming over the right shoulder towards the right fingertips. If your head was turned, bringing it back to center, bringing the knees back to center, releasing the crossed legs. And this time crossing the left knee over top of the right, maybe walking that right foot a couple of inches over to the left, and then softly releasing those knees over to the right-hand side as the gaze may turn towards the left fingertips. Begin to let the body relax, perhaps feeling a sense of softening, releasing, perhaps even a sense of melting as the physical body begins to let go. And head returns to center, gently bringing the knees back to center, uncrossing them. The feet can come to the edges of the yoga mat with the knees reaching to the sky, and maybe gently windshield wiper the knees. And if there's any other movement or shape that your body would like before preparing for Shavasana, please take some time now to follow that innate wisdom without question. It might be bridge pose, maybe a shoulder stand, maybe happy baby, or maybe right now your body is feeling complete and is ready for Shavasana. And if that's the case, then maybe taking some socks or a sweater and finding your way into our final resting pose. You also may wish to have a blanket to cover yourself with. And if you have sensitivity in your lower back, a lovely option might be to roll up a towel or a blanket and place it underneath your knees or lower thighs. Or sometimes people actually like to do Shavasana with the knees bent. There's no wrong way to do Shavasana. It's whatever is going to give you the most comfort as you find your place of ease in a resting form. So as you're ready, finding your way to Shavasana, Again, no need to rush or hurry. Take your time. Once you find yourself comfortable, warm, just begin to feel the weight of the body as it begins to sink down towards the earth. Just imagining that you're lying on a beautiful thick bed of moss and your body is sinking down so deeply. It's so heavy that it's leaving this beautiful indentation of your body's shape in that soft, cushy moss. And maybe taking a cleansing breath here. So an invitation to take your deepest breath of the day, that type of breath that we often take when we're driving off on the Langdale side of the ferry after spending a day in the city. So inhale deeply and let it go. And now inviting the breath to breathe in its own natural way. Beginning to feel a blanket of relaxation sweeping over all 10 toes, both ankles, both knees, pelvis, chest, shoulders, arms, throat, chin, face, head, back of the head, shoulder blades, back, buttocks, calves, heels, soles of the feet. Sense the whole body from the top of the head to the tips of the toes, softening, releasing, letting go completely. breath. Feel your body. Feel your breath filling your whole body. And as you feel ready, beginning to awaken the body, gently, mindfully, in any way that feels organic to you. Perhaps little micro movements in fingers and toes, wrists, ankles, arms, legs. Possibly a gentle rock of the head slowly from side to side. Maybe stretching the arms out overhead. Or maybe inviting those knees back in towards the chest as you rock slowly from side to side. And then rolling over to your preferred side, resting in the fetal position. And then with the eyes closed or keeping a soft gaze, in your own time, pressing yourself back up to seated. Just inviting yourself to stay deeply inwardly connected. And then placing the left palm over your beautiful heart center, right hand over top. Maybe feeling that warmth penetrating layers of the skin and moving right into your heart. Sense that beautiful gratitude. There's so much that we have to be grateful for. And thanking yourself for making time this morning for your practice, for nourishing, healing, resetting, and rejuvenating the mind, heart, body, spirit. And I'll close our practice with one Om. We'll inhale and chant. Some final words of wisdom from Richard Wagnese. I've been referred to as odd before. Odd being spelled O-D-D. Nowadays, I prefer to refer to myself as odd, A-W-E-D. I want awe to be the greatest ongoing relationship in my life. I want to move through my days floored by the magnificence and generosity of my Creator, the breaking of a day, the silence between words, the light emanating from a real conversation, and kindness, truth, love, and the apparently random hand of grace. I want to remain gobsmacked by all of it, rendered speechless by wonder. I await the next unfolding. Peace, friends. Be awed today. Hare Shanti, healing and peace. Jai Bhagwan. Namaste. Have a beautiful day, and as you step off your mat into this beautiful, amazing world that's awaiting your presence, remember that attitude of gratitude and be awed. A-W-E-D. Love to you all.